Hey guys, welcome to another day on the shop. Sorry for the loud noise, the fan's on because we got water all on the floor. But see what we're working on. So today we're working on the S13 convertible. So we got a lot of cooling things to do. We got the water pump and the the clutch fan to replace. It's not really much. It'll probably take not even an hour to do, and refill it with water. But today I received a package. Super clean. Super clean. It's amazing. I use it in almost every single one of my little bits of work I do in this shop because I make a mess or I want to clean stuff up. So we got Super Clean. These two are the degreasers. They're original formula, which works excellent. The wheel cleaner, it's amazing. It works great too. You just got to watch out on aluminum surfaces. Don't leave it on too long because it will burn it, because it's eating through all the nastiness that's on the wheel, and you just got to make sure you clean it and wash it off, and everything comes out shiny and smooth and fresh. And then your floor absorbent. How many times have you spilled oil, water, brake fluid, whatever, all over your shop floor? I do it every single time I pull a motor. And with this radiator, I'm going to have water all over the floor somehow, some way. So that's what we're going to try and avoid in just a second. But yeah, check out Super Clean. I love them. They're awesome. So let's get into this. Well, if you've seen my recent videos of the S13, we have a KA in stock form. Stock form minus the fact that we have a turbo down there. It is an eBay turbo, basically. It's an eBay RB turbo, which is supposed to be able to push up to 450 horsepower. Yeah, it's not going to do that. But we got that. We got some 370cc injectors. We've got a cheap eBay aluminum radiator. Got stock motor mounts, which we just put back in. We've got a Megan fuel pressure regulator from back in the day. I think I bought that thing 15 years ago. We got an SAFC2 controlling the entire thing in here. Oop. Right here. Yeah, old school too. So, got a Walbro DW200. Works mint. So yeah, my issue, I'm overheating. I'm overheating when I'm driving around, just driving around. I flushed the radiator out to make sure that water was getting everywhere it needed to get, and it still overheats. So I decided, since it's been over probably 10 years since this had a new water pump in it, let's throw a new water pump in it. And might as well throw a new clutch fan on it as well. Not the fan part, but the clutch part. So we're going to tear into all of this. We're going to do a little fixings because this thing looks god awful, and we're going to make this work. So we're going to start by draining the coolant slash water out the petcock in the bottom of here into there, and once it drains out a little bit, we'll start popping everything off that we can get to as a upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, fan shroud, fan, water pump, and then in reverse order. So yeah, I got my parts. Got a Hayden clutch for my fan, and then got an AC Delco water pump. So let's dive into it. Well, we got a stock water pump and basically a stock replacement clutch fan. So we're gonna pop all this stuff apart and get down here now. Let's do it. Now I'm not saying anything's wrong with the water pump itself, so yeah, but it needs renewing anyway, and they're cheap. They're like what, $25–30. So yeah. Simple enough, easy enough. Clean all the passageways real quick that I can get to, and then we'll just reverse the whole thing. As I'm in here though, if you see, look at all that crudiness of oil just coming off the front of the oil pan. Need to replace it. I actually need to put this other motor in. Eventually I'm going to end up building a motor and put it in here just because I want to. I want to push the limits. But that's after the summer, because I'm going to enjoy this thing while it runs until I blow it up. But yep, see, what did I tell you? What a mess. I can't help it. So let's clean this up. Let's clean this nasty pulley up real quick and put it all back together. So here's where the super clean comes in and just does so much good. So we'll spray that on, let it sit for a little bit. As it sits, we'll take a brush in here and just kind of scrape some stuff off the edges of the block, and then we'll just spray it off with brake clean just to clean it off, because I don't have a water hose out here, and I want this stuff to dry off. So we're gonna agitate it now. As the engine block sits, we're going to wipe this off real quick. Alright, looking at the old design, that is completely made out of like flat metal, which I'm not sure if this will be any better than this, but this looks like a better design for better cooling, just because the fins are more round shaped with a radius. They just don't look as big as this, but I'm guessing they're going to do as good, if not better. They almost look just a hair bigger too. So this is going to be good. We're going to get this on, put some gasket maker on it, and slap it on. So let's do that. Alright, just clean the surface off. Now I've got my nice dried ultra black. Peel that off and it should come out, but if it doesn't, we got to pick a little bit. So we got to pick a little bit. It's not like particularly using the vapor gasket, but I do still. I'll put a little bit of gasket maker when it comes out. Sometimes it won't. This is dried out. Alright, I got to pick some more out, but I put some gasket maker on here in a thin layer. Put the gasket on, put a thin layer on that side, and it just seals it really nice. So if it stretches or anything, it stays intact. So let me get this. So while we wait on that to set, we're going to go ahead and get the clutch fan ready to go. The clutch fan was hitting the top of the fan shroud. I don't really understand why. I guess because it got hot or wobbly or broken or whatever. So it took some plastic off. The fan has a little bit of plastic on it. So I'm going to scrape this off with a razor knife, smooth it out, make it pretty, and yeah, it'll go back in. We'll remove this and put it on the other one, if you can see that. So I'm not sure if this is aftermarket or if this is, well, I guess, I don't know. It says made in the USA, but I don't see a brand name on it. So, yeah, this thing's difficult to turn. But I know this fan is a stock one. I don't know about this because it's been through 35 years or so of everything. So we got this one, which is possibly the same exact one. This one says 10 right here, and this one says 16, so I'm not sure. Those part numbers don't make any sense, but in the middle of the fins, it does both say made in the USA. So, yeah, new hardware always looks better than the old crusty stuff. So I just like keeping bolts anyway, but or throwing them on the floor. Oh no, we already have a little chipped off the black anodized part. Alright. So the torque settings is as many ugga as you got to put on here, and it should hold pretty good. So let's put this on, and that water pump's already snugged down, and yeah, then we'll be in business for seeing if this thing overheats again, and I pray it doesn't. So let's throw this thing on. Two shiny new bits to cool this thing off, and the rest look like doo-doo. Alright, well, let's put this on, and then let's find some studs. Alright, now that this is all in, I've got to add my performance zip ties to make sure that this whole shroud stays where it needs to stay. And yeah, so this will be done. So I've got like one more hose, which is right here, to hook up. And then I've just got those zip ties to put on. And then I'll be done with putting all this back together and just need to add water. So let's do that. Well, my performance zip ties are in. Everything's done. Just need water. Once I put water in it, we're gonna go test drive this thing. We're gonna go take it and warm it up, see what happens. Hopefully it cools down this time. I don't like it when it's hot like that. So, yep. So, stay tuned. Well, yeah, that. So, what's going on now is I found a problem. It's deep down in there. Let's see if we can get a flashlight. Not very happy with the problem, but I've already got a solution. So, let's come over here. Alright, deep down in here, if you see that oil line, it's got residue on it. If I can point at it, this oil line right here, stainless steel oil line, it has a bit of oil dripping out of it, which means the stainless steel casing is holding up around it, but the plastic insert piece that goes in the stainless is ruptured. Well, so found that out 2 days ago and made an order. Got me a new one. So that's what we're replacing tonight. I'm ready to get this thing up. Problem after problem after problem, and maybe we'll have this thing perfected by the time I actually put it on the road. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to undo the bolt on the banjo bolt on the turbo. I'm going to bolt this to it, screw it in, tighten it up. I'm going to run my line all the way around and run it back into that T that's up under the intake manifold right next to the oil filter, and hopefully can do that in the next 30 minutes to an hour. So let me knock that out. Well, we replaced it. So the line's working. There's no oil leaks. We changed the oil because how rich the car was when I was initially trying to tune it. Right now everything looks good. Air fuel ratio sitting at idle is about 13-ish. Oil pressure is at 40, and we're slowly climbing. We're at 160 right now, and everything seems to be going good. The only issue I'm finding is when this thing is running about 1100 RPMs, that second runner right here gets to almost 700 degrees. It's hot. So, but everything's looking good. So we're gonna take this thing out soon, possibly this afternoon, and we'll test it out and see if everything's working right, if our cooling goes better, and everything else, because right now it's going pretty well. So yeah, let's get back to this. Back with the 240. Didn't show anything about the overheating, or not overheating this time because it's fixed. So we're running about 190 whenever I'm pushing it, and then it stays about 170 if I'm just riding around. That's not too bad. I don't want it over 200 if I can just maintain that. I did find out that I needed better plugs. I think I'm running either 5s or 6s. So these are 7s. They're gapped to 38 thousandths. And I'm going to put them in because it feels like I'm falling on my face around 4,000. So I guess spark plugs aren't keeping up, which means ignition's not doing as well as it should, and it's probably blowing the spark out, or it's just not cold enough for the turbo and the fuel. I'm also looking at going to 550cc injectors from the 370s. 370s feel nice, but 550s could be better. So we're going to go to that. So let me go throw these in, and then we're going to go for a little test drive and see if I can stop falling on my face around 4,000 RPMs. So, yeah. Man, sometimes these GoPro batteries last, sometimes they don't. So yeah, I replaced them real quick. Yes, they are 6s. So they're NGK 6s, and man, look how nasty they are from fuel. So we swapped from 6s to 7s. If you're turbo in your car, your 240, even with any type of boost, probably want to go to 7s. Might work a little bit better. Also gap them to the appropriate thousandths mark, so you don't have spark blowout. I'm going to go test this in just a minute, and we're going to see what happens. I may take y'all along with me. So yeah, let's try it out. Alright, so I've already been driving a little bit. As you see, my temp's around 180. Oil pressure and all that. I'm running a little bit rich right now, so do some boost. My only issue I'm finding is I'm getting a breakup still in like 3rd, 4th gears, upper 4,000s, but I don't know what that is. If I might have too much gap on my spark plugs or something else, because once it starts really pushing the boost and really getting some power into it, it starts cutting. So I'm wondering if that's the case. If it is, I'll just tighten up the spark plug gap a little bit and try it out again so it's not blowing the spark out. But other than that, everything seems to be pretty good. Like I said, the water temp is doing great. So I haven't caught on fire yet. So idling, it idles better now than it did NA. Everything seems better than when it was NA. So even sitting here, sitting around 180, and my oil PSI is right over 20. So, doing good. Alright, well, she works, except at 4,000 plus, and I shouldn't be doing that, but hey, what's the joy of having something turbo if you can't redline it? So next, we've got suspension upgrades that I got to do, and then body work and cleaning up the engine bay some more. I do have some more interior pieces that I got to put in, but yeah, my shocks on all corners feel like they are horrible and blown and nasty eBay things I've had for over 10 years, and I need to get rid of them. So it's time for an upgrade, and it's time to put money in this so that I can actually start driving it and be comfortable while I drive it. And then we'll start upgrading more from there. So, but anyway, thanks for joining to another day at the shop, and until next time,